Hello, hello, hello. I did it on purpose. Anyway, guys, how you guys doing? Happy Monday to everybody. Happy Monday on a short work week, which I'm very thankful for. Making the switch from second shift to first shift, even though it was over a weekend, was a little difficult. So didn't get much sleep last night. Couldn't get to sleep. But I am here, and we'll go to bed shortly after this so I can get up at 3:30 in the morning. Woohoo! Anyway, let's do a quick roll call. Let's see. Second TL Mining, thank you for being here. Patrick Murphy, Travelers Travels, Crypto Tito, thank you for being a member, and Integra Guy for being a member. DNA Tech Tains, and thank you for being a member. Patrick Guyan, thank you for being a member. I believe you are a new member. Thank you very much. Crypto Hunter, Patrick Murphy, Bacon, Eggs, and Hash. Hot Crypto Mining, giving away my secret. I was trying to be sly and be able to reveal it here, but no, he gives it away. He gives it away. Anyway, Crypto Crag, said those two. Crypto Hunter, I think I already said. And S Chang, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Aragorn Strider. Crypto Perks. Geek of all trades, by the way, loved your video on Proxmox. It was Proxmox, wasn't it? I don't know. You did something on Hypervisor, so found it very interesting. So appreciated that video. Let's see. Gandalf Gray, Mike the Miner, Automatic Beats, Alexander Fleener, Paddywhack Miner, TPS Miner, thank you for being a member. Actually, all the people that I didn't mention, Geek of all trades, thank you for being a miner. Thank you for being a member. K-Trim, Baldini, haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, sir. Let's see here. And of course, Sunflower Mama, thank you for being here and keeping everybody in line. I think that about covers a pirate. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. Oh, Chris Hanley, thank you for being here. I think I caught pretty much everybody. Gives it away, isn't it a country song? I don't know, actually. Might be. Purple Plaid, yes, Purple Plaid. Big Wooly would be happy to see this. He likes purple. So actually this plaid, I mean, it's a very basic plaid, but it was basically the plaid pattern that I sent to the company that was to make the seat, but I said use the colors in my logo for the chair. But I sent them the picture of this shirt. But anyway, yes, I know it was in my description, but nobody reads the description, Hawk Mining Crypto. Nobody. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if I was tagged in anything else. And that was about it. So, couple of things. I updated OBS. So have a couple of new features with Stream Elements and Twidget and some other fun things that will be kind of fun. But let's go over who became over the past week. So we have Rondi, who has been a member for 3 months. So I appreciate that. And had a new subscriber to the channel, Nicotine Chikara. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I didn't see that person here, but do appreciate them becoming a subscriber. And then Chump Change was a member for 9 months. So I appreciate that as well. That should be popping up there shortly. Yeah, there it is. So anyway, all right, let me, oh, did it pop up? Oh, there it is. Well, that's interesting. It didn't pop up over here, but what I can do, I think, is... Oh, that stinks. That doesn't pop up down here. Interesting. All right, well, I don't know why Yeah, sorry. Again, I'm kind of have to kind of learn how the stream elements work here, but for whatever reason, the activity alerts don't seem to be reloading. So it don't have the way to pop up the message up on the screen for whatever reason. Let me reload overlays and see if that helps. But anyway, let me go over the people that I have seen. So TBS Miner, thank you for being a member for 8 months. It did pick up that Crypto Hunter is now a member of OnlyFans. So thank you very much for becoming a member. And Geek of All Trades, thank you for being a member for 4 months. So, okay. All right. Well, I think that covers all of that business. No, Sunflower Mama does not want to contribute to YouTube. So so that's not how that works. I know Pocket Change does it all the time, but I tell Sunflower Mama no. That is not a good idea. But anyway, alrighty, well, let's get into the subjects. Well, let's first do, as I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time for people to get here. So I will let me unselect that. It takes a little bit of time for people to get here. So I will do the unboxing first. So thank you to Hot Crypto for linking me into this promotion, but I got a package in the mail today, and I only opened up the envelope because I suck at opening up envelopes. I also suck at opening up taped boxes, so that'll take me a little bit here. But that's what Sunflower Mom is for. She hands me an X-Acto knife. All right, so opening up the box, made in the USA, and it is a Bitcoin USB miner. Compact F. Has the ability to be anywhere from 200 to 500 gigahash. Terahash. So, I don't know. Thought it was a fun little thing to do. We'll definitely be doing a review of this. So, anyway, definitely looking at that. And then they also send a fan, which I will open. What did I do with the knife? There it is. So while I'm opening this up, what questions do you guys have for me before I get into all of the subjects? Okay, obviously somebody said something funny because I hear Sunflower Mama over there giggling away.
Geek of All Trades just said, I have a laser engraver. I could make that board say Compact AF.
Yes, you could. Alrighty, there's the fan, and it clips right on to the heatsink. They really, okay, there we go. So basically it just clamps on like that. Come on, focus. Clamps on like that, and then the fan blows right through the heatsink. So anyway, I'm definitely having some fun with that. I'm probably just gonna hook it up to my computer, see if I need to get a powered USB hub to get full use of it. But for right now, I'm just gonna plug it in the computer and figure out how that will work. My daughter also has a spare Raspberry Pi downstairs that she's not using, so I thought maybe I might get it working on that, similar to the way that Chump Change has, I think, one of his working. Anyway, we shall see. But anyway, so that'd be a little fun little project to do over the weekend. Alrighty, well, let me get into the main subject I wanted to talk about tonight. Well, actually, sorry, let me read some of the chat here. Wow, thank you for all of the gifted memberships, Geek of All Trades. I really appreciate that. Wow. Well, thank you. All right, let me scroll back up here. Oh, so TPS definitely forgot to read the messages when those things came up. So TPS says, thankful for this community and for all that you do for us, Max. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, TPS Miner. I appreciate it. I am so thankful for this community. You took the words right out of my mouth. That was going to be something I was going to talk about tonight. Definitely thankful for the opportunity that this platform has given me, and the opening that the door that was open for me with Misfit Mining. And yeah, I stepped through it. I chose to step through it, but somebody had opened up the door for me, and the original group opened that door for me and started doing Saturday Night Live, and kind of the rest is history. So I definitely appreciate that opportunity, and I will never forget that. So let's see here. Who were the lucky winners of the gifted Max Voltage memberships, the OnlyFlans memberships? Let's see. Patty Wack Miner, 4J, K-Trim, Chris Hanley, and Cooking with Kaiser. So welcome to OnlyFlans. Make sure that you have linked your YouTube to Discord. I do have an OnlyFlans channel within Misfit Mining, which I get in there a couple times a week to answer questions. So if you do have anything, just at me in there, and I will get back to you. All right. Now I get what you were saying, Geek of All Trades. That one wasn't it. But anyway, you said, well, if she won't, then I will. So go. Alrighty. Let me see what else we got here. So it's weird because I'm using Twidget, but it stopped. Unfortunately, it stopped getting any additional things, so I can't move it back over here again, unfortunately, which is a bummer. I may try to reload that here in a bit. But anyway, any tips on milking? Very funny, Mr. Murphy. Very funny. Eric Strider. Been feeling nostalgic for my 7 gigahash jalapenos a few years back. Yes, I have not forgotten Traveler's Travels. I actually, when I read that you were here, I was like, oh, that's right. I haven't gotten back to them on that. So I will get back to them. Alrighty. So now that I've read all the comments, let me get into the subject at hand. So Ethereum has kind of been a bit of a dumpster fire since August, when OFAC came out and basically said no to Tornado Cash, in essence saying that they need to censor the transactions on the Ethereum network. And since then, it's done nothing but get worse. And right now, last I had seen, it was like 67%. It was over 2/3, just slightly over 2/3 of all transactions on Ethereum right now are censored. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Not the point of why I'm saying I'm getting out of Ethereum. What has been coming up, like in October, Eric Wall is a very well-known person within the Ethereum community, and he is very against censorship, and he is very outgoing about not afraid to speak his mind, that all the things that need to happen in order to get rid of censorship. And while he does say that people should be given the opportunity to exit their nodes, exit the network if they're uncomfortable with this, he kind of does that as an aside. Basically like, if some people get hurt in the process, oh well, this is for the sake of, crypto. We have to do this no matter what. And that's where I have a problem with it. You basically brought these people in to be stakeholders. 32 ETH, a very significant investment. At least it certainly is to me. And, they don't even realize that this is going to be an issue in the future. So they do this sometime between December of 2020 and the time of the merge, or July more likely. And then all this comes down. Now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place if they're in the US. So if they're in the US, now they're like, well, now what do I do? Do I do what I think may be right and make sure that my node is not censoring transactions? Or do I abide by the law to make sure that I don't go to jail? So, they're being forced to make this very, very difficult choice without being given a choice to just say, you know what? I get it. I understand this is not my fight. You guys want to do this. I'm not comfortable with it. I want to take my 32 ETH and go home. And they're not being given that opportunity. And in fact, that has been taken off of the roadmap for the Shanghai upgrade, which is supposed to be in about a year. So that's not good, because now they don't even know when they're actually going to be able to vacate their, withdraw their original 32 ETH. As well as there's been talk about that. Well, heck, hey, we're going to have this controlled rollback. If everybody wants to take their ETH out of their stake nodes, then we're going to have a serious problem. We're not going to have enough validators and enough nodes on the network. So we can't do that in just a willy-nilly fashion. We're going to have a controlled withdrawal. And so basically they're saying is that we can't have a run on the bank by just having people shut down their nodes and taking their Ethereum with them. So there's all of these complications that have come into play, where I just finally just said, you know what it really comes down to is there's a conflict here that the Ethereum community believes that at all costs they have to prevent censorship. And on the other hand, you have node operators that are like, hey, wait a minute, I want my ETH back. And you can fight this fight. It's not my fight. So I want my ETH back so I can vacate this and not have to worry about this particular issue. So on top of that, this is what I think Ethereum is starting to really see is, over 40% of all of their nodes are on AWS in the US. So you have a lot of these nodes are actually in the US. So now they're starting to get worried that, hey, a lot of these nodes might go away. Well, they can't really have that. So honestly, it's just kind of really turned into a dumpster fire where I'm not comfortable with it anymore. I'm just flat out not comfortable with it anymore. So I still have, I had actually sold a bunch prior to the merge, but I held a little bit back. I only have 1 ETH. So it's not certainly isn't a lot of money now. Would I rather have it be worth, $4,500 versus $1,200? Sure, of course. But it's significant enough that, I certainly wouldn't want to lose it. That's for sure. But anyway, I wanted to come out saying that I was going to be selling the remainder instead of selling it first and then telling you this story. I'd rather come out and say this, and then a few days later, I'll sell it. I'll vacate it because, they actually talk about that in insider trading. Not that I am that big of an influencer that anything I have to say is going to influence the price of Ethereum. It won't, but that's not to say that somebody could look at it saying you sold this right before you said this, and therefore you were trying to influence the price after the fact, that type of thing. So figure I'll just abide by insider trading rules. I will wait a significant amount of time and then move forward with selling the remainder of my Ethereum. So anyway, before I go on any other subjects, any comments on that? Because I'm done. I'm absolutely done. There are plenty of other things to invest in. Right now my plan is I'm going to take a little bit of it because I have 4 nodes. And I just recently found out. So Zelcore, is it Zelcore Plus? It's like their paid service. It used to be 10,000 Flux allowed you to actually get that service. It's now down to 5,000. Well, I'm pretty close. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Ethereum and buy just enough to get to the 5,000 Flux so that I can have that service. And then the rest of it for now will go into Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's at a great price right now. Yeah, I think that's really the safest place for it to be right now. Somebody could say, well, the safest place to be is in cash. Well, with inflation, is it really? So anyway, I don't know if there's really any safe places right now with the volatility of the market. So my choice is to put most of it in Bitcoin for now. And I'll evaluate and see what else I might want to invest in. But for right now, that's where most of it'll go. And then a little bit of it'll go towards Flux to get me to that 5,000. So anyway, alrighty. Red Panda says, if Max is done, I'm done too. Well, I mean, like I said, this isn't necessarily for everybody. I mean, some people may say, well, I'll just keep a little bit and see. To me, it's just, I don't even want to pay attention to it anymore. I don't. I mean, and you guys, those of you that have been with me for a long period of time, I mean, I kind of cut my chops in being involved in the Ethereum community and really asking questions and talking to the devs from a miner perspective and having a conversation, not a yelling match. And there were a lot of people in the Ethereum community that had really appreciated that. And it said, you seem to be the calm person who is reasonable and tries to see our side of it, which helps us try to see your side of it as well. So anyway, that was kind of how I cut my teeth. So, I mean, I was, really invested in it. So for me to say that I'm done, it hurts a little bit, but I'm just very, very frustrated at the direction and the attitude that, and it's what's really funny is that I've said a number of times that they're always like, well, this is what I think, but it's not the hill I'm willing to die on. And they all say that. And so now when it came to censorship, now they're all saying, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. And I swear to God, they're saying that because not just me, but others have made fun of them for always using that term and just being so wishy-washy. So anyway, that is my stance on it. All right, let me go through the comments. So Patrick Guyan said, told everyone ETH is the CBDC Trojan horse. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way it could be going. That's definitely possible. Let's see. Geek of All Trades says a controlled burn makes sense, but what can we do about it? What a parallel asset kind of payout instead while maintaining ETH 2.0 staking live and locked up. Yeah, I mean, they do have, you do have the ability to, if you're staking it, you do have the ability to pull out the earnings. You just can't pull out the 32 ETH, the actual staked portion of it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, look at the difference. I mean, you have Flux. I mean, I know they're two different animals, no question, but you look at Flux and people are flocking to it. They're continuing to invest their Flux in nodes. And I don't know if that's happening with Ethereum now, but it's like the last thing on my mind. I had thought at one point, oh, it'd be kind of cool to do a, Ethereum node, once I get a better idea when they're going to be withdrawing, but obviously never got to that point. So anyway, all right. Geek of All Trades, maybe a wrapped ETH token of some kind. I mean, the thing is could they figure out a way to allow people to withdraw their funds? Yeah, they could, but that's what they've been trying to do for a while. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things. There's numerous articles, actually, numerous Medium articles that talk about ways of counteracting the censorship that's out there right now. One of the big things that's causing it is flash bots. That's the MEV relay. But supposedly within the next few weeks, they are going to be implementing a solution that will reduce the amount that they censor transactions. So I don't know. Time will tell. But if that's the case, then what's everybody worried about, and why was this such a big deal at the Ethereum conference back in October? Because at the very end, one of the organizers basically came up and said, we're all going to look back and say that Eric Wall's presentation on censorship is going to be the most significant presentation of the entire conference. So a lot of people are really, behind the idea of somehow slashing those people that are, censoring the network. Let's see. ETH just dropped 19%. What did you do? I highly doubt that. Martin says, Martin, welcome. I stopped paying attention to it after we stopped mining it because of the way they treated the entire community, how we were presented, and how it was handled. So I hear what you're saying. And again, you have a lot of these situations where it's a vocal minority. So there was a vocal minority of investors that wanted to see proof of stake to reduce the amount of rewards being given to anyone, and wanted to see the deflationary system that they have today. And it's not always deflationary, but right now it is, because they're burning more fees than is being paid out, because staking doesn't make a heck of a lot. So, Jeffkey, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. No, I did not say I was done with Flux. That's a good one, Tains. I like that. Done with Ethereum. As I said, I don't like the conflict between the people that have staked ETH and them not being able to pull their money out, and with the threat of social slashing, and with their threat of losing their staked ETH if they don't comply with allowing all transactions to go through, and they don't want anybody censoring the network anymore. And again, it's not about whether or not censorship is right or wrong. I'm not making, that's not the reason. The reason why is because if you are going to make this claim and not allow people to make their own decision as to whether or not they want to participate in a network that is allowing tornado transactions to go through, allow those, a lot of people say, that's where a lot of terrorists are going through. Again, allowing people to make their own decisions. Now, what's interesting in all this, not to go too far out on a tangent, but there are other mixers out there. Why is Tornado Cash being the only one that is being called out? So just wait. There's more. I believe that there's going to be other mixers and other coins that are also going to be called out for this in the future. So, all right. Red Panda says, I have a Flux question. Can Flux nodes be used with a domain or subdomain request instead of an IP address? All right. Yeah, I don't have that answer. That's a networking question. All right, let's see. So Chum Change, you say you're a Musk fan. So thank you for being a member for 8 months, by the way. And is that a Mark Musk fan? Is that what you're saying? That was so much fun on Saturday night. If you did not watch the Saturday night live stream, I was in the stream and I wanted to watch it again because it was so much fun. So if you have not seen the Saturday night live stream, do yourself a favor, watch it. If you don't find it funny, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I thoroughly enjoyed that stream. That time just absolutely flew by. We had so much fun. Heck, for nothing else, you'll hear Sunflower Mama giggling on the side through my mic. She was doing quite a bit. So, alrighty. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, so let me talk a little bit about my weekend. So it didn't exactly go as planned. I was planning on relaxing, and then one thing led to another. So what started out is that my daughter has her gaming computer. She has a whole like family room gaming area, area in the basement that we set up for when she came home from college. It's a really cool area. Problem is that it's a little far from the router, which hadn't really been a problem up until now, but for some reason it became a problem. So I started diving down that rabbit hole, and in the process of diving down that rabbit hole, my computer went back into a bad state of basically the CPU wouldn't go above 500 megahertz. Each core wouldn't go higher than 500 megahertz. Your computer won't do a whole heck of a lot like that. So this is a known problem. You can do a search, low CPU clock, AMD. It's a known issue, and there's certain motherboards evidently that might have this problem. I don't know, but no, the only thing that I know that somebody did to solve, well, there are two different solutions. One was to go into power management, click between balanced and high performance, or go to click high performance and then click back to balanced. That supposedly fix it. It does not work on mine. And then the other one was a motherboard switch. And that may be what I would have to do. But what I ended up doing was going into the BIOS and really looked at a lot of the power settings. And I can't remember everything I did, but I think I turned the AMD cool and quiet to disabled. I changed the core performance from auto to enabled. So in other words, PBO was enabled as opposed to just auto. So really making sure that it's going to be pushing the processor a bit more. And then I believe I might have disabled ERP as well. Those are the things that I think I did, and it came back up when it wasn't able to get it to come back up. So we'll see if the problem comes back, but I'm happy that, I think I'm good for the time being. Baldini, thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it very much. All right. And before I go any further on that, I am going to try to see if I can get this back up and running with Twidget, because I don't know why it did that, but it died. And hopefully it will reload all the stream. Geek of all trades, fix it with Tannerite. I like that. And lo and behold, my Twidget is back. So there you go. And then Cooking with Kaiser says, hit it with a hammer. Anyway, all righty. Well, hey, Baldini, thank you for being here. If you're still here, if you're not already gone. I know, you probably left a long time ago. Let's see, what Mobo do you have? I have the Gigabyte Gaming X. It's a B550 motherboard, so it's not an X series or anything. And I have a 5600X, so it's not super high power or anything. So should work without a problem. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't the most expensive. It wasn't the cheapest. And it had good reviews when I bought it. So anyway, for now it's working. We'll see if the changes I made work. So anyway, back to my daughter's networking issue. So went down to her computer, started, looking to see what everything looked like. Like, her speed was pretty good. I mean, it was like 180 megabits per second. And when I ran the ping was fast. The ping was anywhere from around 11 to 19 seconds. Average was usually somewhere around 15 to 17 seconds. So the ping was good. But what wasn't good was the latency under load. And I learned a whole bunch of new terms like buffer bloat. So basically, when you have a high-speed connection, but you have latency, you get what they call buffer bloat. You're telling both sides that there's this much speed. So it's saying, fine, then send that much information because it'll get across, no problem. And when it has this latency, you get this buildup of the buffer, and then it has to like catch up. And that's when you get latency within a game. So was reading a number of things, and I don't know how much this is true. I was just basically researching and trying to figure out what to do. So I tried a couple of different things, and it has fixed the problem. One of them was I wanted to see like what her signal level was. So I got application called NetSpot, and I wanted to see like, you know, what her signal was to the Wi-Fi extender that we have down in the basement versus to the actual router itself. Believe it or not, they're really pretty much the same, because the Wi-Fi extender doesn't have that strong of a signal, but the router has a strong signal. So anyway, but what it did help me do was being able to move the antenna around for her computer. And so I set it up in a slightly different spot, and lo and behold, I got 10 dB more signal. That's a lot. That's a lot more signal. So it went from like minus 65 dB to minus 55 dB. So again, huge difference in the signal level. So I did that. I also had changed, I believe it or not, I didn't have MU-MIMO set up, multi-in, multi-out connections on the Wi-Fi. So I was surprised at that, but I set that up now. So I don't know how much that's helping, but it should help. Theoretically, it should help. And, and then the other thing I did was, remember I said that both sides think they have a really strong and fast connection. But what I did on the router side is I actually decreased that speed down to around 750 megabits per second from 1 gigabit. So I'm not sure how much that's affecting it, because that's really more representative of the actual speed that the Wi-Fi clients are getting. So I don't know if that had a change, but it seemed to decrease the buffer bloat. There's actually, I can't remember the website that I used, but there is a website where you can actually test, and it will tell you, you'll be able to see when the buffer is starting to build up. So anyway, let's see what else. I think that was pretty much, that was the short story of it. I know, surprising, because I mean, this was like hours that I spent on this thing. Plus, oh, by the way, my nodes were having issues going up and down. I did not lose my place in line on any of them, so that was good. But I was getting a little nervous about that I might lose my place in line. So good thing I did not. I'm trying to think what else. I said computers. Oh, and that was the other thing also, was on my computer, I noticed that I was getting some latency under load as well. And definitely discovered that that's the problem that you have. You can't mine when streaming. I mean, you can, but then you might run into problems. That's what happens, is you get that. So between rebooting the router and turning off the mining, any latency under load that I had was completely gone. So anyway, I do want to say thank you to Red Panda Mining with his running cables, because now it's got me thinking, okay, maybe it's time. And I love the fact that you can have toolless connectors and keystones. So I may set that up and install some keystones on either end, run the cable, and then just use Ethernet cable on either side to connect. So I don't know. I got to kind of figure that out. because that means I wouldn't. Right now, all my mining rigs downstairs are on Wi-Fi, and it runs great. I don't have any issues. But obviously, it'd be nice if they ran on wired connections. So I may run 2 wires down to the basement, but I can cut much smaller holes. When I am running just the cable, as opposed to running both the the cable and the connector, you have to obviously cut a bigger hole. So anyway, let's see here. I know I've missed a bunch of comments here. I answered that one. Geek of all trades, buffer bloat. That was my nickname in college. I hope you're kidding. I somehow I have to think you're kidding. Ted, I have 2 gigabyte B550 Aorus Pro AC, and they have a power problem. Several other gigabyte boards do too. I RMA'd one of mine for it. Interesting. I did not know. So that makes sense, because it seems like it's just not pulling the amount of power. So I don't know. It'd be a real pain in the butt to actually, basically have to rebuild my entire system. I don't know. We'll see how bad it gets. Probably the next time it happens, I'll probably have to think about doing that and maybe just get a new motherboard, buy a new motherboard, and then figure it out from there. But we'll see. Panic Miner says, I've not been having issues with nodes dropping off. Is there anything in particular that triggers issues that I should watch out for? It used to be when you get an update that could trigger it. Obviously, any type of network outage can trigger it. They may not come up, back up automatically, and then you have to basically power cycle them, and then they should come up. So those are the 2 things: a network outage, or even a slight power blip. That'll do it too. Basically, then kind of puts it in a lock state, and you just need to power cycle it. So power cycles will fix all the problems in most cases. But so those 3 things: a network outage, a power outage, or possibly an update, although I have not seen updates now causing any issues. All right, Aragon Strider, you gotta hardwire Essential Systems. Wi-Fi sucks. Yeah, I know. I've gotten by with it, and then he's a Petric guy, and toolless connectors are dog shit. They have a high rates of deflection. Yeah, I thought about it. I'm like, well, I suppose I could just buy a crimper. Anyway, Bacon Eggs and Hash says, I need to start a channel. Well, yeah, I think you guys all need to start channels. Everybody's got their own perspectives. Red Panda says, let me send you a whole pack of Keystone Jacks. They're not that expensive, Red Panda. It'd probably cost you more in shipping than it would be for me to buy them from Amazon. Geek of all trades, Red Panda Mining. What about site-to-site wireless with a bunch of mirrors bouncing signal around the walls? I don't think it works that way, though. No, it doesn't. Anyway, Cooking with Kaiser says, I do think you have ghosts in the machine. I don't think so. But maybe. Hobbyist Miner, how you doing? Good to see you. Yes, you are late. Okay, so Red Panda says the toolless Cat 6A Keystone Jack makes the punch in just perfect. The days of that punch down tool are over. That's what I was thinking. I totally was like, that's awesome. Well, hey, so there's a little bit of deflection. It's still better than Wi-Fi, right? That's the spirit. It's good enough. Martin says, I just checked my Flux monthly rewards, and with one 3080 10 gigabyte, I make about 15 to 16 Flux per month, which is the same as Cumulus node. Correct, but on a Cumulus node, how many watts are you burning? I mean, my computers downstairs burn about 12 watts. my Raspberry Pi nodes burn probably about 5 to 7 watts. So yeah, the return is the same, but not the profit. You know, you're making 15 to 16 flux per month with a 3080, but I guarantee you're spending about 15 to 16 flux or more in power to make that 15 to 16 flux. Just saying. Too bad Mining King's not here to be counterpoint man. But anyway, alrighty. Let's oh, what are you gonna have on solar this summer, Jeff Key? Oh, I've got a 6-watt Cumulus. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're so low. I mean, I've got some older computers downstairs that were like super cheap. So like I said, they're running at about 12 watts, which is really high, honestly. I could probably tune them to run slower and more energy efficient. They certainly are overkill. They're i5s, so they're definitely overkill for it. So I don't know. Patrick Guyan says, I'll give you some free jacks and a simple punch if that's what it takes for you to do it right. Hey, you should just come over here and just do it for me. How's that? Anyway. So Arrogance tried it, the hobbyist miner. I'm with you on using the punch down tool. What did he say about the punch down tool? Oh, I can't stand tool as punch down. Something about the punch down tool, my man. Yeah, I mean, I used to, back in the day, used to have a little, you know, basically punch, click right in. Yeah, those were the days. That was when I was a summer intern. I was a data communication specialist at Kemper Financial, which is now part of Zurich, part of that conglomerate. And yeah, I really enjoyed that job. That was a lot of fun.
You summoned the Mining King.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, he's here now.
Oh, wow. All righty. Well, sorry, it's too late. That ship is sailed. We've already talked about that. Good old chump change. Yeah. You also had to walk to school dead of winter, no jacket, uphill both ways. Yeah, and against the wind both ways too. I mean, yeah, it was horrible. Life back then was so hard. Life back then was really simple. It was really simple. Yeah, that was back when, yeah, you'd round the neighborhood I grew up in had, I don't know, 10 to 15 boys that were all within 2 years of one another. I mean, I'm talking within a block of my house. And we'd play baseball, basketball, football, everything all day, every day. That was just what we did. And yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I can still remember when we had our T-ball league and my dad was the assistant coach and the head coach was my next door neighbor's father. And he couldn't make it to the draft. So, you know, he sent my dad and he's like, well, do you have anything? He's like, whatever, just pick the kids, you know, whatever. And so my dad basically just picked everybody in the neighborhood. And it was just ridiculous. We just romped on. We batted around almost every inning, you know, 'cause you only can bat 9 kids in an inning. So we were always at 9. We would get like a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings every game. You know, so our scores were like, you know, 35-3, something like that. I mean, it was just ridiculous every game. So everybody blamed my dad of, oh, you stacked your team. He's like, I just picked kids that I knew. That's all I did. And it was literally all the kids from the neighborhood. So anyway, it was fun. It was fun. I'm really glad I grew up where I grew up. Hobbyist says, back in my day, we had ring groups with neighborhood phone would ring and 5 neighbors would pick up. No, that was before my time. That was before. But yeah, that wasn't that far before. Probably about 15 years before, something like that. But yeah, good times, good times. All right. What else did I say I was going to talk about tonight? I guess that was it. Said I'm done. I did the unboxing and the computers, networks, and Wi-Fi. Yeah. Oh, I did forget one other thing. So I don't know if you can tell, my eyes are a little red. That is, I don't believe that's from lack of sleep. That is because yesterday, again, another computer issue, daughter said, my computer's making a funny noise. So I'm like, okay, well, when does it make the funny noise? And she told me that, well, it's when I do go into this game or whatever. And I said, okay, well, like, put your ear next to your computer and find out where the noise is coming from. And, when this happens, I'll help you, I'll be up here doing that. You tell me where it's coming from. She found out it was coming from the power supply. So I'm like, all right, that just tells me it's time to blow out your computer. So I got out the handy dandy blower that everybody's got. And she just started blowing things out. And of course, there was a lot of dust. I got some in my throat. It's still there. But it really got into my eyes. And yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, that was fun. All righty. Any other questions you guys have? Hobbyist. Max Voltage has been smoking the reefer. No, never actually tried marijuana. Have not tried it. Hobbyist minor. I had that in my parents' first house. Really? Wow. No, we did not have that. I mean, I can still remember actually helping because I wanted a phone in my room. This is before everybody had cell phones. You had to have a wired phone in your room to have any amount of privacy. And so I said I wanted to have a phone in my room. And my grandfather had worked for the phone company, so he knew how to wire up phones. You should have seen the jack. It was like one of these big 4-prong plugs that went straight into the wall. It was ridiculous. And it was a dial phone, rotary phone. Again, didn't care. And, but anyway, yeah, I helped route the cables through the house. So that was fun. They were like trying to figure out how are they going to do it? Because the rafters went this way, but the cable needed to go this way. And because obviously it's coiled, it was kept going like under. And I'm like, all right, guys, we have a whole bunch of, thin boards here. Let's just tape them together and then tape the thing to it and then slide it along the rafters and get it to where we need it to go to. We've got the opening on the other side and then straight up is into my bedroom. And lo and behold, that's what happened. They're like, wow, that was a great idea. So anyway, but it was fun. Good times. All righty. Let's see what other comments we got here. Got the RPM black lung. No, actually, my guy that works for me actually has pneumonia. I do not have pneumonia. I know how to stay away from it. I've never had pneumonia, but I've had really bad cases of bronchitis. So I've learned how to see the signs. You start getting a sinus infection first, and then it goes into your lungs. So keep it out of your sinuses. I have a routine when I start getting a really bad cold that eliminates that. So yeah, good thing that is not the case for me. Geek of All Trades says you should give it a try. Totally worth it. No. I didn't inhale. No, I didn't even put it in my mouth. So no, I did not try a reefer or any type of edible. And no having judgment, I just have never tried it and have no want to even do that. Let's see. Oh, I guess so. Patrick Guy and I paid 12,000 USD for a dude to wire my whole house. I bet it does pay. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. But I mean, I'm sure it probably took him a couple of days. So there you go. Let's see what other. Look like you tasted the panda bathwater. 56. All righty. Well, I've been going just about an hour and I do need to get to bed. But I appreciate you guys all being here very, very much. Yeah. So thank you to you all. I am very, very thankful to all of my loyal people that are here every week. It means a lot. It was, let's just put it this way. About 4 hours ago, I was pretty angry. I was pretty hot. And I was kind of like, maybe I don't want to stream. I was really tired, and Sunflower Mama was saying, hey, you could skip tonight. I'm like, no, I'm not skipping tonight. And so I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't, because you guys always brighten my day. So I do appreciate it. So again, thank you so much. I'm thankful to all you guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully you have family and friends that you can spend time with. I mean, now at least we've always been able to get together, though just there's a little bit less reluctance to get together. So definitely looking forward to the holidays where we will be getting together with family and friends. And thank you, 56, for the super chat. Very, very much appreciate that. And other than that, holy cow, Red Panda, you didn't need to do that. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate the $13.99 Canadian. What is that, like $1 US? I'm just kidding. Oh, it even did the translation. It's actually $10.53. Well, again, thank you for the $13.99 Canadian. And Joker Miner. Oh, Joker Miner, I hadn't seen you here. Well, good to see you. And Rodney, thank you for renewing your membership. I did notice that that a couple days ago you actually renewed, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Bacon Eggs Hash says, Max Voltage Sunflower Mama, happy Thanksgiving. Yes, we're having people over at our house. At least that's the plan for now. Can always change, so we'll see. But anyway, I'm definitely happy that we'll be able to get together with family and friends. Rodney, you only been a member for 2 months? I swear I had a message up here that said you were for 3 months. Let's see here. Yeah, it says membership for 3 months. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. But anyway, what were you chuckling at, Sunflower Mama? Nothing in particular?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. She was over there chuckling, so I thought maybe she read something that I wanted to reread. Oh, actually, you just reminded me, Red Panda, one of the videos I will be doing is on taxes, a number of different things. One of them, I'll just give you a little bit of a point. You know that tax planners always talk about do your taxes, or at least get an idea of what your taxes are going to look like before the end of the year, when you can actually do something about it. So one of the things that you can do is you can take $3,000 worth of losses and take it against your regular income. So if, obviously if you're investing and you have a regular job that you can take the deduction against, why not? And yes, you may feel, well, and the other part of it is this year you could sell and immediately buy back. There is no wash rule. They've talked about it. There was Build Back Better, that bill that was out there, that was supposed to apply the wash rule to crypto, but that never went through. So for this year, there's still no wash rule for crypto. So you can sell and immediately buy back. Oh, thank you, Mining King. I appreciate that. Nice flannel. I only for the best. You guys are the best, so always break out the nice flannels for you guys. But anyway, so keep that in mind. Nothing wrong with taking a loss. I mean, you're like, well, wait a minute, I haven't lost anything if I didn't sell it. Not the point. Not the point. Sell it, buy it right back. You now have this $3,000 or whatever the loss was. You now have that loss that you can use. Now, if you have greater than $3,000 worth of losses net, you can then carry over those losses to the following years. So keep that in mind as well. So again, not tax advice. I've just been doing some research on my own, trying to figure things out as to what's the best way to do things for me, in my opinion, and not tax advice. So I'm only sharing a journey. You guys can take it for what it's worth. You in correct me if I'm wrong in any of the things I'm mentioning. So, but I just figure let's open the dialogue. Let's get us talking about it so that we're not on December 30th and 31st trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do. Let's figure it out earlier. And Patrick Guyan says, get an LLC, Schedule C, and take all the losses. You can take all the losses as a sole proprietor. There's a couple of different things that makes an LLC a really good thing. One is liability. That's why it's called an LLC. It's Limited Liability Corporation. And the other one is that you save on Social Security, because you do not, as an LLC, you do not have to contribute the employer contribution for Social Security. So that's a way of saving. And I might not have that perfectly right, but I do know that there is saving for Social Security if you with an LLC. So I have not done that up until I may decide to do that, finally bite the bullet going into next year. But I found out this year that they did in Illinois lower the price of getting an LLC. It used to be like $500 every year. And there was a bill out there for the longest time. I never heard it got passed, but I finally found out this year it's like stupid cheap. It's like $40 or something. I forget exactly the exact price, but a lot less expensive to get an LLC. So I'll take care of that going into next year. So anyway, there was a single entity LLC. There was somebody else had mentioned something about a type of entity. It wasn't single entity. It was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was something I wanted to look into. Thank you for that reminder. I want to write that down. What is PLC? Oh, I remember. It was actually, I think, Mining King, wasn't it, that you mentioned something about a limited liability corporation, but a specific kind? Entity. Okay, got those down in my notes. All right. How to start an LLC company? Well, basically, you just need to look that up with your state and figure out what their process is. They all document what their process is. So definitely you need to be S Corp to not double pay retirement taxes, not sole. Oh no, I know not sole proprietor. I know that, but LLC, you can do LLC filing as under S Corp rules. So you don't have to be an S Corp in order to do that. You can do LLC and file under the S Corp rules. There's a way of doing that. So that much I do know. Disregarded entity. Thank you. That was what I was trying to remember. I knew it started with a D, but I couldn't think of what it was. Anyway, I've got some research to do on that to figure out the way I'm going to do it. But yeah, definitely take a look at it in your state. If this is something you're going to keep doing, you definitely can save some money on doing it the right way. So, but yeah, I'll be setting that up going up in next year. That's for sure. Ronnie, RPM Media Group. I like it. I think that works. I think that definitely works. Panda, we'll need to talk. We were chatting earlier today, and I don't know. What do you think? Do I need to head on up there or what? Anyway, alrighty, guys. Well, again, I'm thankful to all you guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Take care. If you're traveling, please be safe, and definitely want everybody to come back and share on Saturday what everybody did for their Thanksgiving. So, alrighty, guys, thanks a lot. And you guys all have a wonderful evening.